When I was 13 and I bought that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I never knew it would have such far-reaching consequences in my later life, especially in regards to making a discovery that Earth is an ancient star and that stellar evolution is planet formation itself. The star collapses and becomes the planet. It's easy. But these lessons were so powerful at the time, and I had been using a few of them, but to really get the full meaning of how powerful these are, you had to have experienced them on your own, and then now you have to change your behavior to account for the lessons. I'm going to go ahead and read all these off. Hopefully people can learn a lot from this and can better themselves, especially with scientific theory development or managing people or all that stuff. It plays into all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and restart 1 through 12 of the 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking, and 1 through 9, be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. That's a really bad one. Alright, number 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. You know that saying, don't feed the trolls? That's exactly what that means. Don't argue with people online. It makes you both look like idiots. It's as simple as that. If somebody wants to argue with you or throws out attacks on your character or who you are as a person, don't even bother with it. It's a waste of time. Nobody's going to end up being the winner in that case. Number 2, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, you're wrong. They have reasons for saying what they're saying. They have their own backgrounds, their own lives, their own ways that they were dealing with things. And if you just trounce their opinion as if they don't have any respectfulness about them at all, it arouses resentment. And especially if you say you're wrong, like, that isn't gonna do anything. That's just gonna put their walls up even higher. So don't do that. And then it says, if you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically, meaning fast as you can and with sincere appreciation of the person for showing that you are wrong in a specific area or a specific idea. Number 4, begin in a friendly way. That can stretch out from one simple statement to an entire year of back and forth communication. Always begin in a friendly way, especially if you have something that's going to really affect their emotional well-being. I originally thought that I could just share with an astrophysicist the idea that Earth is an ancient star, but, you know, I really didn't. It wasn't really a friendly way of approaching them. You're wrong about everything, you know, this is how it really works. One can expect the kind of reaction I would have gotten by just saying, you know, in some random email, no wonder it wasn't working. But now I've learned better. I have to slowly develop relationships with people over time so that the idea becomes more palatable, that it doesn't appear as threatening, because it really isn't threatening at all, except for the fact that they have their own ideas in their mind that they consider to be true and possible, and they'll take it as an attack on their ego if you go out and you just automatically blurt out what you think is really going on. They're automatically going to throw up their defenses. Number 5, start with questions to which the other person will answer yes. For instance, of course we all know Big Bang and black hole are nonsense, but you don't want to come out and say stuff like, well, you don't know why these are nonsense, do you? Like passive aggressiveness nonsense. What you should actually do is say, well, black holes and Big Bang have very many problems, don't they? And if they're reasonable, they'd be like, yes, these are, you know, we know there are problems. And you get them to say yes to a lot of things, and then you can lead them into the direction you want them to go, and to realize that You know, these never had any grounds in science-related matters at all. They were always mythology and fantasy to begin with. But get them to say yes beforehand to lower their defenses. Again, lowering somebody's defenses when they have a giant ego is the first step into making friends and teaching people new ideas, especially when their heads are already full of other ideas. Number 6, let the other person do a great deal of the talking. That's the best. And I found out the best way to do that is just to ask them questions about what they believe, how they think things work. People will willingly come out and tell you what it is they believe and how they think things work and all that stuff. And you can get a lot of information out of them by just using your ears. Like my boss tells me, he's like, God gave you one mouth and 2 ears. That means he wants you to listen twice as much as you talk. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7, let the other person feel the idea is his or hers. In other words, it means swallow your pride when you have an original idea on your own and you want them to adopt it. Make them feel as if it's their idea. That way they will adopt it a lot easier and they will start working on it themselves. And I learned that through my own theory development, because clearly I had made a discovery on my own, but I really have to swallow my pride and allowing people to discover the theory on their own so they can adopt it for themselves and really understand what it is they're standing on. You know, what this thing is. Is this a big ball of rocks that's just floating in outer space, or is it an evolved star older than the sun, you know? Number 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Honestly try to see things from the other person's point of view. Not only with the scientific matters, but their upbringing, the people they associate with, what degree they have, what their beliefs are. You know, all that has a lot of impact on what they are going to talk to you about and how easy it's going to be to interact with them and actually communicate with them. For instance, a lot of mathematicians that I see online, they think they're up here in abstraction world, and I'm down here in rock and mineral world, and when we try to communicate with one another, it's just going to go straight past each other. So the only way I'm going to really get on their level is to rise myself up to them, because chances are I'm not going to make them come down to me. It's going to be impossible to do that. So what I need to do is go into abstraction land and try to see things from their point of view, and then slowly bring them down to physical reality where science is actually done. Not in the abstraction world where there are castles in the sky with no foundations. But I need to bring myself up to that abstraction level and then bring them back down to earth to where we can actually do real physics. Number 9, be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Being sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. More or less being compassionate towards them. If they're wrong about things, you gotta kind of look past that. If their desire is to have a feeling of importance, of, you know, to better their self-esteem about who they are, you can't trash their self-esteem and make them feel bad all the time. That wouldn't be the best option for you. Yes, I have a lot of experience of trying to trash people's self-esteem and they just put their walls up and they don't listen to me. So, yeah, to really try to boost their self-esteem and to be compassionate towards where they're going in life, that will give you a lot of leeway, and you will be appreciated for really being there for them and being a leader for them, regardless of if you disagree with what their idea is and, you know, who they are as a person. 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. Try to have the big picture in mind. Don't look at the details too much. a nobler motive would be such as, you know, where are we going as a species? Don't look at it as for your own personal gain of trashing somebody else's idea. Try to look at it as a more of a human kind of thing, where we progress and we learn about our mistakes and we improve upon ourselves, both in our interpersonal relationships, you know, business relationships, and even with relationships with ourselves. 12, dramatize your ideas. I'm going to have a lot of fun dramatizing how the protoplanetary disk accretion model doesn't work. I'm going to slam a whole bunch of granite together and shoot it with guns to simulate low velocity experiments. Hopefully we see some accretion happening. I highly doubt accretion is going to happen because, well, I was in the Marine Corps. I'm fully familiar with how machine guns treat walls. They don't accrete. They go through the walls. But I will film that with a much higher quality camera because this iPhone is not really the best for the situation. Maybe I'll get a GoPro or use one of my buddy's phones. Number 12, throw down a challenge. People love a good challenge if they're willing to push forward. Don't think that people are just lazy. They're not. If they see something that they could do and you can like get them to want something, throw down a challenge for them. Say, hey, what about this? Can you do this? I bet you can't, you know, get that kind of like attitude towards it. That way they'll be like, I can do that, and they'll try to do it, right? That's the way most people are. If they have like that, you know, that, I don't want to say warrior type mentality, but if they really want something and you throw down a challenge and you give them something to look forward to, they will attack it, given they have that kind of, you know, that kind of heart to attack it. And those are the kind of people you really want in your life anyways, is those people that love a good challenge and they love to improve themselves. But yeah, I think I made this talk a little long enough. I'll go ahead and make another one real quick. Hang on a second. Oh yeah, today is August, 23 or 24? I can't remember. Alright, later.